Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at more gut feeling stories. Yeah, let's just get right into the video. One day as I was leaving work, I passed a delivery driver in the hallway. In that 1 to 2 seconds, I had a really bad feeling. It put me instantly on guard. He left the building before I did and initially turned onto the road in another direction. I remained on my guard thankfully because he attempted to follow me home. I managed to ditch him at Walmart. I knew they had a lot of cameras and was able to make contact with a police officer in the parking lot. Please never ever go home if you confirm or suspect someone is following you. Get on the phone and to a safe place as quickly as you can. It was bad enough that he knew where I worked, even though he was removed from the route, but I can't imagine how I could have ever felt safe if he knew where I lived. Yo, this is why you should always pay attention to your surroundings. The fact that she saw him and then she was like, I have a sus feeling about him. He's gonna follow me home. And he did. That's scary. I went to my boyfriend's home to feed his cats while he was on vacation with his family. I've been going there for a week or so, twice a day for this reason. One day I entered the building and there was the janitor cleaning the floor beside the stairs. I saw him a lot of the time during that days because I was going every day at the same time, and in the morning he had his work shift. I said hello as always and went to the elevator, but I felt like something was wrong. Don't know why. In the elevator, I tried to prepare the keys, and after I quickly opened the door of the apartment, some seconds later I saw him through the peephole. He was just outside the apartment that was on the 4th floor. That meant he clearly ran to reach the floor so quickly. He stayed there some time outside the door and then left. I stayed inside for several hours and then finally went out. All that I know is that he was fired sometime later and none of the neighbors know the actual reason. What the hell? So he was just waiting for the opportunity to do something to her? The fact that he ran up there so fast, scary. Thank goodness she prepared her keys because she knew that was gonna happen. Isn't this what everyone thinks about when they get home? Like being afraid that you can't open the door in time. Scary. About 2 weeks ago, I was wrapping up a visit with my brother. I was flying out early the next morning and decided to get an Airbnb closer to the airport than his house, 2 hours away, so no one would have to get up super early to drive me there and then drive back. My family, parents and sister were also visiting my brother at the same time. Dropped me off at the house where I was supposed to be staying in a private room with a private bathroom. The owners were not home when I arrived and left a key for me under the mat. I unlocked the door and my folks walked me in. My dad found the backyard door standing completely open. The yard was not fenced and there was no dog going in or out or anything. Very odd. I shrugged it off, figuring they didn't just latch it when they left a few hours prior to go to dinner in the city. My parents left and I went to my room to find no lock on the bedroom door. This is very off-putting as a young woman staying alone, and I dropped my heavy bag against the door to keep it shut. Not that it would keep anyone out for long. I started to look around for an outlet to plug my phone in and heard someone touching the doorknob and testing that it would open. I called my wife and whoever was touching the door stopped as soon as they heard my voice, and I heard footsteps quickly going down the hall. I also heard the bathroom, supposedly private, being used after a few minutes, and the hairs on the back of my neck started standing up. More footsteps. The phone number I was given for the host didn't work. And again, no way to secure myself or my belongings. I bailed. I called my parents and they turned around and I gathered my stuff, which luckily I hadn't bothered to unpack. I stayed on the phone with my wife as I bolted down the stairs and I heard someone cough not 2 feet to my left as I hit the landing, ran directly out of the house, ditching the key on the entry table, and waited at the street corner 3 houses down for my parents. Once they collected me, a car with its headlights off raced out of the cul-de-sac and down the road. My brother thought to get a picture of the license plate and recognized the car as the one that had been sitting in the driveway when we arrived, which my dad had noticed too, and commented that it was a pretty crummy car for the neighborhood or house we were at. Very creepy. Stayed at a DoubleTree and I got refunded about 85% of my stay. So some random stranger was just in the house because the back door was unlocked kind of thing, or they broke in through the back door and they were just inside the whole time while this person was like about to get comfortable. That's so scary. Yeah, if you get inside a place and like the back door's not locked and the owners aren't home, that is suspicious. I was 11 at the library. Always went after school as it was a safe place to use a computer, play some games, and obviously read. Well, one day it felt off. Kept seeing people out of the corner of my eyes following me around. These guys were in high school or graduated. Felt really wrong, so I decided to leave instead of hanging out for a couple of hours. Go to walk home and a couple of them follow me out. I walk faster, getting more freaked out. Heart's racing and I just start running as fast as I can. Next thing I know, I hear footsteps, lots of them, behind me running as well. I glanced behind me and there were 8 of them carrying freaking baseball bats. I ran as fast as I can to someone outside of the house, some random old guy. Bless him, he probably saved my life that day, pulled me into his car and drove me home. I will never forget that day. What were these high schoolers doing? Carrying baseball bats and literally chasing a kid around? What? Dude, so lucky that the old guy that drove them back was also not a bad guy, because imagine if he was. Oh man, that's freaking scary. You're just trying to chill and read at the library, and then these kids, they just want to smack your head in. What? I was walking the 2 blocks from my workplace back to my car. It was dark and hardly anyone around, as most shops were closed in my sleepy little town. On the first corner was a real estate agent. A young male was there looking at the listings in the window. As I approached, he pulled his jacket up to his cheek and looked like he was looking for something in his pocket, but something raised the hairs in the back of my neck. It was like he didn't want to see me to see his face. As I walked past him, I could hear him walking behind me, so I slowed and looked in a few shop windows. Every time I stopped, he stopped. I crossed the road, he crossed the road. Now I was pretty sure he was following me. I didn't want to keep going to my car. It was a multi-story car park. It was in an isolated spot, and I knew no one else would be around or within shouting distance. I ducked into the only shop open, a video store, and pretended to look at movies whilst really watching him out the window. He waited for a while, then he crossed the street and disappeared down the street. I stupidly decided that the coast was clear and quickly headed to my car. As I got to the entrance of the car park, I heard him a couple of meters behind me. He must have hidden and waited for me. The only way out of the car park was back where I came, and he was there. If I continued to my car, I knew I couldn't get it opened and started before he reached me. I stopped and turned and faced him. He paused just at the entrance in the shadows, so I still couldn't see his face clearly. So I unleashed my inner fishwife. I yelled, swore, and screamed at him, and he scampered like a little girl back off into the darkness. I ran to my car, locked it, and took off. I phoned the police that evening and gave a description as best as I could. I knew he saw my car and license, and is pretty distinctive. The police went back to the garage the next night and waited. The man turned up with a friend for backup. Apparently 20-year-old me was scary and wandering around the cars and looked like he was waiting. They were stopped and searched and were both carrying hunting knives. They were both arrested and got some jail time as far as I know. My instinct about this guy made me more alert and took notice of my surroundings and him, and I never parked there again. Honestly, I would have just stayed in the freaking video store forever. You know, until the employee starts closing. I'm like, can you help me walk me to my car? I'm scared. And isn't it crazy though how most of the times when someone just faces the stalker or the follower, they end up getting scared and they just run away. People just hate being confronted, hey? Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoy. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!